Okay, I think I've got everything squared away now. Okay. Well, hello everyone. I was just going to wait a couple of minutes to let everybody start coming in, but I see that a bunch of y'all all are here. Okay, I'm not having good reception on my laptop, so give me just a second. Bear with me, and we'll see if we can get this rolling a little bit better. Okay. Okay. Hi, Bev. Hi, Deb. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Antoinette. Hi, Kristen. Okay. Hi, Lana. Okay. All right. So today I'm going to be doing a new to me project or technique called Cyanotype. I know this is backwards, but that's just how it is. Anyway, it's Cyanotype, and I've been having some fun with it. It's printing with UV light or sunlight, and it's pretty simple and straightforward. Um, I've got a lot of material to cover, so hopefully I will present it all in the right way, not out of order. But if you know me, you know that there's always some snafu in the mix. Anyway, I've been doing this on paper, on cardstock, not cardstock. This is watercolor paper, mixed media watercolor paper, or uh, it's a nice thick cardstock type of material paper that I'm going to use. Oh, I just found I pressed a frond. Maybe it'll shake out. Oh, anyway, um, I'm using this paper. I'm also going to be using fabric. This is kind of fun on fabric. I haven't ventured as far as washing it, laundering it, so I'm not really sure how it holds up. However, I have some resources of where you can find additional information, hopefully on how to launder it. This is a nice piece of fabric. This is actually a muslin fabric that I used for the rub-on stickers that I did a demo on a while back. This is that cotton muslin fabric that's kind of fun to use. There's also other fabrics that we can use as well. So let me. Oh, this is one. I'm going to be doing it just with UV lamp today because I don't know how I could manage doing this indoors and outdoors. And it's also -2 degrees here, so I'm not venturing outside for any project of any kind. Um, but this is one that I did earlier in the year. Well, not earlier in the year. I did this maybe in November outside in the sun, and this came out really nice. This is on a piece of fabric here, and you can do it either way. If you have a UV lamp, uh, that's great. You can do that indoors. If not, you can do this outside. You don't have to have an extremely sunny day. Just it can even be overcast, but it will work well outside. But if it's a sunny day, that's even better. It'll print faster. Oh, we got some more people in here. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Carol. Hi, Mary. Okay, we've got a nice group of people watching. Um, okay, here's another one that I did with. Actually, this is a plastic plant that I got at I think Joann Fabrics, and it came um, in the floral section, and it was a whole big bunch of these fern leaves, and I just cut some off, and you can use that too. So there's lots of different things. These are wooden stencils that someone gave me, and I tried that, and that worked well. That's this one right here. And I also, when I was at Joann's, like in November, they had clearance on Halloween things, and I picked up, this was on a plant, not a plant, in the artificial plant section. It was a Halloween decoration of some sort, and I picked up that, and I was able to do this with it. So that's kind of cool. So there's lots of different um, things that you can use on this. This one had dried flowers that I had pressed or bought pressed. I can't remember which, but I'll do a demo on this today. And then this is another piece of fabric that I had purchased, a green plant. This is a real live plant, and I just snipped off some of these leaves, if you want to call them, I guess they're leaves, or branches, whatever. I cut off some of those, and I was able to sun print with those too. So that's kind of cool. If you have large plants, fronds, ferns, that kind of thing, that would do real well too. I'm limiting the size of these projects right now because I'm using my UV lamp, which is small. But if you do this outdoors, you can use much bigger pieces of fabric or paper. And I've got a couple of videos that I watched on YouTube that I really liked, and I put them in the notes in the handout so that you can look them up if you want. These are for much larger pieces that you could make wall hangings with and stuff. So there's just lots of different things that you can do with this. What else? Also, I have kind of a nice collection of dried plants, flowers, that I had done some resin projects with those in the past, and those work really well with this too. Okay, so I did a variety of little pieces to show you different plants. These actually were dried, I'm not sure if they're real or synthetic, but I bought a bundle of them on Amazon. They're pretty weird green looking, so I'm not sure if they're really real plants or not. They probably are, but these little ferns, and I'll have resources for all of that too, in case you want to get anything like that. But these little plastic ones, I was really surprised that they worked really well. Okay, so cyanotype, what is it? It is two chemicals. This is ferric ammonium citrate and potassium ferracinide, for whatever that means, A and B. So we're going to be using these. When you buy this, I did get this on Amazon. I think you can also get it like at local craft stores. But when I bought this, the package was really light. I was really shocked. And then I realized you have to put the water in it. So it was just the chemicals that were in the containers. And then I added the appropriate amount of distilled water to them. So that again is in the handout. So you'll have all that information. Surprisingly, you only need a small amount of this solution. Of course, that depends on how many pieces you're doing, but it's generally recommended that you start with a teaspoon of each, because you can't store the mixed solution. It only has an active life of about 2 to 4 hours. So it's really, if you mix up a lot and figure you're going to use it later, you're just wasting it, because it will not, it degrades after 2 to 4 hours. I also picked up another kit. This one I did get for sure at Joann's, and I used my 40% coupon. And this one is different colors in the kit. And uh, by that I mean that they have not only the blue, the standard blue cyanotype, but they also have a purple solution and an orange solution in the kit. So so that was kind of neat. I didn't do like a whole lot of experimenting with the colors yet. I have so many different irons in the fire that a lot of times I don't really get to fully play with something and really, really learn it well. This is one of those things. So, but I was intrigued. My friend Rhonda, who gets me in a lot of trouble, by the way, um, she kind of turned me on to this. I wasn't really aware of it. And we've played with this several times in my studio. So in the kit, let me just open this up. In this particular kit that I got, um, it's got the instructions, but it's got little bottles of the different solutions. So there are 4 colors actually. Is there 4 colors? Let me see. Oh no, this is a detergent. This is a detergent that you can wash the fabric with. But I haven't ventured that far, like I said. But you've got the standard blue, the purple, and the orange colors that you can use. So that comes in the kit. Some little foam applicators, and some kind of a pen that I haven't used. This is a black film marker. I'm not really sure of its purpose at this point, but I will find that out. And it also has some gloves. And there's instructions in here too. More. No, this is just showing you the different colors that it can make. So there's a lot of potential with this. It just depends on how involved you want to get with it. But that's another option if you want to introduce other colors. Also, my friend Rhonda, she went a little further with this, and she read about using turmeric, the spiced turmeric powder, and she mixed some of that in her cyanotype, which leaves a really kind of a tan orange color in there that you can kind of accent with. But I haven't tried that myself. So these are just a few things that can be done. I really am. Oh, excuse me, but this is spam. Okay. I'm attracted to the fabric idea, and for clothing, maybe t-shirts or bandanas or something like that. I just, like I said, haven't ventured around to doing that. This actually is from a bush in my front yard, and I was meaning to clip a piece of that for the demo, and I forgot all about it until I just saw this piece of fabric. But this is one of the evergreens out in the front yard, and I really like this one a lot. So there are lots of different things that you can use. All right. So the thing with this process is that once you put these solutions on your fabric or your paper, you have to keep it in the dark. You don't want it exposed to light, especially UV light. Now, I've watched several different YouTube demos, and some people suggest painting the solution on your fabric or your cardstock in the dark, with very low light. Um, and others say, the light in your house is okay as long as it's not UV light. Well, I didn't want to really waste the stuff, so I have a bathroom that has no windows in it, and I just kept the door open a crack, and I applied the solution on the papers and the fabric, and I left them, shut the door completely when I was done, and left them to dry there. So what I've done or what I had read about doing, was putting your papers like in a container, your treated papers or fabric in a light proof container, which for this purpose I used a flat rate box from the post office, like a shirt box size, and just flattened it and taped around the edges, the open end edges, so that light wouldn't come in. And I've stored my prepared papers in this. But then I ran across someone else's demo, and they suggested using an empty paper box, like that you'd get typing paper or writing paper or whatever. And I did happen to find a box in the closet this morning, and I thought this is actually probably a better idea to store your papers if they're within this size. If you're doing larger ones, then yeah, maybe a bigger box like this would be better. Or if you're doing really large pieces, say if you wanted to do a large wall hanging, you could use a large piece of cardboard and then insert that all in a black plastic bag and keep that out of the light until you're ready to use it. Okay, so there's that. So when I was painting my papers and fabric, uh, like I said, I was doing it in the bathroom, and I covered my vanity well so that I didn't get any blue splashes of dye anywhere. And I've got these dollar store racks, like a cookie cooling rack that, I got at the dollar store. And then this one was from an old toaster oven that I don't use anymore. And another postal box or piece of cardboard. And I apply all my uh, solution on top of this board on the vanity so I don't get it anywhere else. And then I leave my those pieces to dry on these cookie racks, just so there's air circulation and they dry faster. So you could do it however works for you, but to me this worked out well in the situation that I have. So it does take a while, especially for the fabric to dry. That takes a little bit longer. And I found that this is a doable uh, solution for me, or workable area for me. So there's that. So I'll get to this in just a little bit as far as using it. So I'm going to put these things aside, and we'll get down to coating some paper and some fabric. So I've kind of designated a little box of stuff for this. Get these out of the way. And then I have another box of dried things, dried flowers and weeds and different things in here that it's not organized at all. It's just kind of dumped in here. But like this is some Queen Anne's lace that I had dried for a resin project, and that would be a good thing to use. I'll do that in today's demo. Have that. Most of those I collected myself that are in that box, and then there's others that I had purchased again for resin projects that I got on Amazon, and that's just I've got some skeleton leaves. I haven't tried these before, so I'm going to do that today and see how these transfer. And then these are some other dried flower packs that I got on Amazon for the resin, like I said, and these will work. These should work really well as well. Okay, so there's lots of different pieces. I should take more care of, how I organize. Well, this isn't really organized. They're just kind of stuck in a box. But at least I know where they are, and I can pull them out and play with them. Okay. So, like I said, I had I think I said I picked up this book uh, on cyanotype, and I haven't really done too much with it, but I liked the projects that are in here. So and it also comes with templates in the back that you can use to make your projects. There's a few in there. They're here and there, but I like this rabbit one. Um, this woman is very creative. She's made some really nice pictures, and I like that rabbit a lot. So I want to do something with that. She's even done it on ceramic and made some jewelry with it. I'm not sure if I like that idea, but you know, everybody's different. There, she made like a little night light with that. So that's kind of cool. So there's lots of good ideas, tips, and all that kind of stuff in something like this. But you can also get an awful lot of free resources on YouTube. The internet is filled with different things that are available to play with. Okay. Can anybody else not hear me? Maybe you can't hear me. Okay. Well, I hope. So I'm going to take a sheet of this. The mixed media paper and the thick watercolor paper are nice because um, they they are thick enough to accept the solution. Uh, Thank you, Debbie. Uh, they're nice and they can accept the solution real well. So uh, that's why that is recommended. So I'm cutting these things up small because I don't really need them for any particular project at the moment, and I've already got some that are done and ready to go, which I will show you with how to use those in a bit. But I just wanted to show you how I apply the ink or the dye, whatever you want to call it. And thank you, Mary. Okay, so I am going to mix up. Like I said, it is recommended that you use about a teaspoon each of the solution. You don't really need a lot unless you're making a lot. Oh, the other thing is I'm also using pieces of acrylic that I have. You could also use these plates are from a die cutting machine that I had, and also I also had a roller for metal clay or for to make snakes. You know, when you're using polymer clay or metal clay, um, and this was a roller that I had from my metal clay. So I had that, and then this was from a die cutting machine. These are pieces of acrylic. You can also use a piece of glass, like from a picture frame, depending on the size of your project. And the fact that I'm using my UV lamp, it's small. I'll show you that. It's not all that large. This is the UV lamp. So I have to have something that fits within that size. And these small acrylic pieces, these are probably 3x6, maybe 4x6. I don't know. I didn't measure it. It's perfect for the size that I'm going to use with the UV lamp. But if you're working outside, like I said, in the sunlight, you can use much larger pieces if you want. So this was an acrylic frame that I had, but I've also used a picture frame before I found these. These were in the house someplace. But I bought an 8x10 picture frame and just took the glass out of it and used that. The only downside is the glass in those picture frames are very thin, and you can poke yourself or slice yourself with that real easy. So, you know, you can use glass, but I would recommend using acrylic if you can find it. Okay, so let's mix some solution. And as you see me do this stuff, then what I've been talking about will make a little bit more sense. So I'm going to use, you can use any kind of cup or whatever. I'm going to use a little 1 teaspoon measuring spoon for this, and I'm also doing it in the light of my room. So I had done all the previous in the bathroom, so this is an experiment for me as well. So I'm just going to put a teaspoon of, well, that's part B, and cover up your, cap your bottle right away so you don't mix bottle caps with the wrong bottle. And a teaspoon of A. And it was a little bit over on that one. Okay, I'm just going to take a craft stick just to mix it a little bit. I also saw one demo that used a regular paintbrush, like a wider, maybe 2-inch paintbrush. But I kind of like these foam brushes, so that's what I'm using. That, a piece of the watercolor paper, and then this is a piece of fabric that I'm going to use. Well, actually, I think what I'm going to use is this muslin. I'm going to use this muslin fabric because I really like it. Now, the fabric is going to take a lot more solution than the paper because it absorbs it. And the thing I like about this muslin fabric is that it's got these edges that you can pull a lot of the threads and make sort of a fringe around your fabric. Just pulling the threads. You can do this after the fact too, but I kind of just like to be able to do this. It makes it look like a little tattered. You can make the fringe as big as you want, but I'm not going to waste any more time with that. But I just wanted to show you that you can do that with that particular kind of fabric. All right, so I'm just, oh, now we've got strings of fabric everywhere. Good going. All right, take a little bit of that solution. And with the paper, it will curl up when it gets wet. And that's okay, because it'll go back down. You might want to wear gloves too, because inevitably get this on your, it does wash off. It's not horrible to get off, but if you don't want to go through that, then just put gloves on. Okay, so that kind of curled up a bit, but I expected that to do that. And I'm going to just set that on my rack, the rack that I have, and set that aside. And then here's the fabric. This one takes, like I said, a lot more to penetrate all the fabric. It gets quite soggy. feels weird to be doing this here instead of in the bathroom because I was so careful not to expose it to any light. And now, but this is the, uh, I'm just going to give it a shot to see how this works in the regular room light, if it's really an issue or not. So I'm going to let this, and that's all there is to it as far as applying the solution on your pieces. I've also seen where people will just, brush some of this stuff on a partial piece of the fabric or the paper, and it gives it a nice design as well. You're funny, Deb. I've been told that. Okay, so that's what I would do, to all the pieces that I was going to work with. Is just prepare all your color, watercolor paper, and your fabric at one time. Set that aside on the rack for you, and then go. I've got this extra piece of paper cut, so I'm going to go ahead. But see, that was just a teaspoon of each, and I still have a lot of solution in here. So you could even go a half teaspoon if you're only doing a few pieces. Now, if you're doing a larger piece of fabric, say if you wanted to do a bandana size piece or a t-shirt or something like that, you would have to put a considerable more amount of the mixture into a bowl or a small bucket and soak your fabric in that. And that definitely you'd want gloves for, and then you'd have to wring it out and then hang it to dry or lay it to dry on a rack, so that all dries properly. But it would be a little bit different and it would use way more solution. But I am going to try that with a bandana, probably when the weather's a little bit nicer and I can actually do this outdoors. So that is applying the paper or the solution to your paper or fabric. That's the process. It's not a huge deal. But then when I would be done with this, I will just dump this because I'm not going to need it. I'm sorry that I use that much, but that's how you learn too. I can rinse out the foam brush, no problem, and then we'll go on to actually doing the printing. All right. Pat says yes, put your lids back on. I learned that the hard way with food coloring a few weeks ago. I was making candy cane cookies and needed to dye the dough red. I did, and it was orange. Turns out I had switched the red and yellow caps to the dye. Yeah, that's so you had orange candy canes. That happens, and I've done that on resin bottles too. It's like that's not good. You're putting the wrong cap on there. You could have some residue inside and you can ruin your whole batch of resin that way, your bottles. Okay, so let's see if I can get a bigger view, a higher up view. So Deb, how cold is it in South Carolina today? We woke up to -5 this morning. That was okay because we're in the house, but for people that have to work outdoors in this weather, I feel so sorry for them. Okay, so when we're doing the project, I'm going to take from my container here of pieces already done. And I'm going to take a piece out and turn it upside down away from the light because I don't want to expose it at this point. Okay. All right. So that's upside down. Now I'm going to lay my project out that I want to do. I've got some dried flowers here that I kind of laid out in a design prior to, oh, it's 33? Oh, that's not too bad. I heard it's going to get really cold down your way. So bundle up. All right, so I'm going to use this as my, this is actually going to be on the top of the print, but I'm going to build my design on here. Okay, so I've got some dried flowers. This was actually lavender at one point when it was alive. Oh, and it's snowing. That's a rare occurrence for South Carolina. So I've got some dried flowers and some dried baby's breath. You can get as involved as you want in your design. I'm not going to get too crazy. And it's too bad the colors, well, it's not really too bad. I mean, this is the whole idea of the cyanotype, being the blue. We'll do it that way, okay? Now I'm going to put my paper on top here, the cyanotype side down. And I'm going to put some box clips on here to just hold it together. Just to keep it so it doesn't move. Oops. So it doesn't move. The only bad thing about clips is if you're doing a small project, you don't want those clip marks to show on your cyanotype, and they will if you don't have it on quite right. Learning. This is way bigger than it needs to be, so I'm going to trim this down. I don't know but on your end, but on my end, the screen cuts off every now and then. So I'm hoping that you're getting a decent broadcast. Okay, so this is how it looks. And now it's going to go in the UV lamp. Easy peasy, like that. I just slid it in. We'll do a few of these to see how it works. As far as timing goes, with the UV lamp, maybe 3 or so sessions of this. This is like 120 seconds. I think it's 120 seconds. Yeah, per cycle. So I usually do it a few times, 2 or 3 times. And then if you're in the sunlight, like 3 minutes, depending on how sunny a day it is. If it's very sunny, in about 3 to 5 minutes, it can be sun printed, or it may take a little bit longer on an overcast day. In the handout that you'll get, there are pictures of the one that I did, this particular one that I did, not this one, that I did outside. And so it takes you from start to finish on that one. So it's how I laid it out, how it was in the sun, and then after I washed it. So you'll see that a little bit better when you see it on the paper handout. Okay, so I want to try these skeleton leaves, and we'll do that one next because I am very curious. The skeleton leaves you can get on Amazon, where else? Also, and they come in a couple different sizes. So I think these are fairly large. I would like to have a little bit more variety in size. Now that shut off, and the paper is already starting to turn a little bit gray blue, rather than the brighter blue. There we go. But then after we rinse it in water, then the vibrant blue comes out. So it's really fun. It's a fun process. I don't know. These are quite large. But I could actually just do one large one and see how that comes out. It doesn't have to have multiple. It can be whatever you want it to be. Good, Debbie. I'm glad everything's okay down there. But your brother was telling me it's going to get a lot colder down south than normal. So I hope that's not the case, but it could very well be. All right. Oh my gosh, Suzanne. 6 inches of snow today? Oh wow. Wow. That's a lot, especially if you're not used to it. You live in an area that's not used to, or you're in an area that you're not used to a lot of snow, and then you get snow, that can be quite treacherous because people don't know how to drive in that stuff. Um, it's just bad news. Okay. Now, I've got a bowl of water on my side here. Oops, rack overboard. I've got a big bowl of water on the side of me here. That I will rinse this stuff off in just a minute. I'm going to get this one prepared for the next one. I have all this room down here, and I am pressed for a place to put things. That kind of tells you that I've got too much stuff. That can't be. That just can't be. All right. So I'm going to grab another piece. Well, actually, I'll do a piece of fabric for this one. Where? Okay. Make another sandwich here. that just helps by putting these box clips on here. It just helps from keeping things from shifting. And it also helps when you have thicker objects that you want to print. Say if you're doing a fresh flower and it's thicker because it's got all the water still in it, the box clips will help it stay in place on the paper. Just a little FYI there. All right, so this has gone through 3 cycles. I'm going to take that out and take off my box clips. And you want to take all the pieces off. And this is the print. Okay, now it's pale. It's kind of a gray blue right now. But watch when I put it in the water. Here's the bowl of water. I'm also going to just squirt in just a little squirt of peroxide, hydrogen peroxide in the water. That helps kind of stabilize the color. I'm going to put that in the paper or in the water. Can you see? Just kind of move that around a bit. The color really comes off. You want cool water. You see how nice and bright that came out? Some paper towels here to wipe this up a little bit. Look how nice that came out. Isn't that amazing? Now, if I was going to be fussy about the edges and stuff like that, I would have chosen a larger piece of paper, allowed for the edges to be messed up, so that I could cut that area off after this was done. But this is just strictly these things that I'm doing today here in this demo is just to show you, the basics of what this actually is. Now, I could hang this up with a box clip on a clothesline of sorts, a string, something to let it drip dry, because that will take a little while for that to accomplish. And now I've got this prepared, our skeleton leaf, right like this. I'm going to put this inside, and my UV lamp is very temperamental. It likes to be in a certain position. And this is simply a manicurist light that you can get online as well. Always technical difficulties. It's because it's so low to the table, I think. If you put your hand under it, it turns on real easily. But sometimes you have to prop it up a little bit for the light to stay on. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just being obstinate right now because I'm doing a live demo. It's just like children, They misbehave because they can. All right. I really want to do this Queen Anne's lace too. I want to get that set up. But if I wanted to do this stuck on here pretty nicely, I mean, it'll come off with just moving it. But if I wanted to do another one right away, I could just leave this as is and put another paper on top. But I'm not. I'm going to move on to something different. Or maybe I'll just remove a couple of these flowers Yeah, I think I'll do that. And we'll see how that comes out. Let's see here. Just add that Queen Anne's lace on there. Yeah, isn't that fun? I mean, it's just so fun how that turns out so vibrant blue like that. Anything proper set up, to hang the pieces from, to drip dry them. Um, but had I thought about it a little bit earlier, I could have probably rigged up some kind of line and some clothespins or something, and had that to dry them out. But I will put them in my laundry room. I've got that situation in there, uh, but I don't want to get up to do that. All right. So this is the first 120 cycle, second cycle, and now I'm going for a second one in the UV lamp. So this one was with 3 cycles of the 122nd, and that turned out good. And it'd be different in the sunlight outside, but like I said, I'm not doing anything outside. Probably till May around here. It's just too darn cold. But you can, you could just set it out on the sidewalk or on your back stoop or whatever, and do your cyanotypes out there as well, your larger pieces. All right. I want to get another piece ready for this particular one. Okay, and this again is upside down for right now. And I'll set it on a piece of cardboard just for some stability. It doesn't have to necessarily be cardboard, but it seems like that is doable. Easily doable. This is probably going to show the clips. Because I have my cardboard cut too big. It'd be better if you cut your cardboard to be more the size of the plate that you're going to use underneath. So that way your box clips will fit on there better. Now I cut a piece of the paper. That's okay though. All right. All right. The handout is, I would consider fairly comprehensive as far as how to go about the process. But like I said, I put some resources in there too, so you can find this stuff without too much difficulty. Hi, Wendy. Glad you could join me. How's it up your way, weather-wise? Making a nice garbage pile over here. All right, this will be the last time on the UV cycle. close this box up here. All right. Straightening stuff up as I go along here. All right. It's freezing. Yep. Yep. That's pretty much how it is in most of the country right now. All right. So, let's see, what other, oh, in the handout, let's see what I said. You can use fabrics like linen, cotton gauze, muslin, poplin, or mixed media paper, just for a few different fabric choices. Oh, the light went out. I don't know if I dare let that go one more time. I think one more time under there, just to be sure that it is cooked right. What else here? I listed a few YouTube videos that I like, that I thought were pretty useful. Also, photos on the distilled water. You need 214 milliliters of distilled water per 7-ounce bottle for the solution. So, I'm sorry, this is not a 7-ounce. This is in grams. It's 0.64 ounce, whatever that is. Probably close to an 8-ounce bottle. The 214 milliliters is just over 7 ounces. I had a measuring cup that had the little graduated marks on it, and it was just over 7, not 7.5, just barely over 7 ounces. So that, hopefully that'll help you, because I was like, I don't know how much water that is, but that's what it is. And then there's pictures here of this one that I did in the sunlight. This is the plexiglass over the little cardboard sandwich there, and then this is how it looked after I took it out of the sunlight. I had the flowers still on there. Took the flowers off. That's what it looked like. And then after it was washed and rinsed, that's what it looked like after it went into the water. So I don't know about you, but I'm a very visual learner, and any kind of information like that to me is very helpful. Now I'm going to go ahead. I took the leaf out, the skeleton leaf out, and I'm going to put this other flower arrangement in here. And I'm going to take this off. That's how it looks before it's wet. This is on fabric. And I've had a few fails, just to cover my butt right now, in case this one doesn't turn out. I've had a few failures, but most of them have come out pretty nicely. So I'm doing this in the water. Rinsey, rinsey. This one looks quite dark. If I were at the sink, I would be changing this water out with clear water in between batches. just to get rid of the excess dye that's in the bowl. I don't know if that's really necessary, but that just seems like a good thing to do. So I'm rinsing this out. And sometimes over the course of drying time, it actually, the color will deepen even a little bit more so than when it's first done. This is nice, but it's a little on the dark side. Just rinse that out. There you go. Can you see that okay? I mean, I think that's still very good. It's just a little bit on the dark side, but the part that was a little thicker, that white, really shows nicely. So I don't know if it would have been better to give it a little more time under the light or not. Maybe that's as good as you're going to get with a skeleton leaf. I don't know. I would probably try this again and see. I would do this on paper, I think, next, just to see. Yeah, Pat, it does dye your fingers, but it comes right off. It just washes off. So it's not like anything permanent, or that you really have to scrub. But if you're going to do a lot of this stuff, I just go ahead and put gloves on to begin with. I do like this. I just think it's a little bit on the dark side. But I think I'll try this on a piece of paper next. I think I'll do that right after this one. And then that might be it for the demo. But I think the skeleton leaves would make a really nice design if you like that sort of thing. So I'm going to put my skeleton leaf out and grab another piece of watercolor paper that I have in the box. This is a rather large one, but it's what I have prepared. Let's go one more time. I'm going to cut this one down. Yeah, I'll just use that and put this other piece back in. Get this other sandwich ready here. All right, I've got that one ready for next time, for the next one, and let me look at the messages here. Candy says, hi Candy. Candy said that would be pretty with some bead embroidery. Yes, it would. Debbie says, I would think since the skeleton leaf is super transparent, that's why it's so dark. Could very well be. That could very well be. Yeah, Deb, I saw Natalie's picture uh, at at the beach somewhere. That's nice that she was able to get away from this weather. All right. One more time on this, and then we'll put the other leaf in, and we'll see if that made any difference with the paper. But Debbie, you're probably right with the fact that that's so transparent. Uh, that probably is the whole thing. I was looking up some stencils on Amazon last night, and I saw quite a few, and I think they would be really neat to use in this project too. Um, the only thing is, some of them are rather light. They're plastic and they're not really transparent. Transparent would be bad, um, but they're like a white plastic. And I was talking to Rhonda about that, and she said if the stencil was too light, that it might be a good idea to paint it black, maybe spray paint it black, so that way that wouldn't interfere with the printing, you know, the color in the printing. So I think I may do that. I have some enameling stencils, but they're quite small, but they are transparent, and that they wouldn't um, they wouldn't work well as is. But if I painted one, I could have it take one for the team and and paint it and see if that made a difference. But some of the ones that I saw on Amazon are really cool. They have mandalas and all kinds of really neat botanical prints in the stencils that you could do some really cool things with. So I think I'm probably gonna uh, order a package of those just to see how well they would work with this process, because I really like doing this, but I have to find a way to use them. So if I got something really nice, I might want to frame it, but the fabric aspect kind of intrigues me. Although I'm sure uh, they would need to be hand washed. I don't think that you could machine wash uh, this kind of thing. I think that wouldn't work too well. All right, so I took this one off. This one that I just did under the light. I just took that one off and put it in water and rinsing it. This one is on paper, on the watercolor paper. And it is looking pretty darn good. Some of those excess drips off of here. The Queen Anne's lace turned out nice. I didn't like that. I'm gonna hunt for more of that this coming summer and dry it, press it. If you can get some of these things like, oh, I was going to do the fresh plant too. I forgot about that. But look how nice that came out. If you pick some of these plants and flowers, whatever, to dry them, if you don't have a flower press dryer thingy, you can put uh, your leaves and flowers in between pages of a thick book to press them and dry them out, and dry them flat. That looks pretty nice. All right, so let's see here. I had in my book here, the book with paper, I had a dried leaf in here. I have to go through that business again. I don't know where it is. But let's see here. If I wanted to do this plant, say, you might as well have different scenarios of what you can do. If I wanted to do this plant, I would choose some little petals, or not petals, but little pieces of the plant. Like that. All right, I'll do one more. This guy needs a haircut anyway. So I had snipped from him before, and he rose to the occasion, grew back some more. All right, so I don't know how good this will be. The overlap might be too much. But I'm going to grab that other piece of paper that I put back in here. And push it down. We'll see what happens here. Cut these little stems off. All right. We'll see if that made any difference with the. We got the fronds on here like that, and under the UV lamp. Take this off. I don't know. I think I might have only done this twice under the lamp. Brass stencils should be fine, Mary. I would think that they would be fine. Because it blocks out all the light except for the holes of the stencil, so it should be fine. I actually may have some brass stencils somewhere. I'd have to dig those out. All right, so this is pretty much the same as the other. This one was the skeleton leaf again, and I think Debbie's absolutely right that there's just too much light coming through the skeleton leaf because it's so thin. But actually, you do see this one, I think, a little bit better on the paper. Yeah, you do see this one better. But it's still not terrific. Now, here again, that's where the box clips were attached. Okay, so you can take that into consideration when you're doing your pieces, that if you don't want that to show, and why would you, um, to account for the size of the sheet that you're using, that your box clips will clear the, if I had just like a plain edge, bigger edge on here, then I could cut that off and you would never even see that. This one is better, definitely, than the one on the fabric, but still not great. All right. Oh, this one stopped. All right. We're going to just finish up with this one. I'm curious to see how that is and hope that you can see that. Just stick around to see it. This is the difference between the fabric and the paper on this particular skeleton leaf. This one's a little better, but still not great. I don't know if you can find thicker skeleton leaves. They probably wouldn't be skeleton leaves then. They'd be something else. But it's a nice look. All right. So let's see here. Any other questions or comments or concerns? I'm going to be gone in 2 weeks. I'm going to be in Tucson, sunny Tucson, for the Gem and Jewelry Show. I'm looking forward to it. And so I won't be doing a demo, that particular week. I'm only going to be gone 5 days. It's not a whole lot of time. I hope to connect with you guys while I'm at the show and maybe showing you some fun things that I'm looking through, some beads and stones and just all kinds of wonderful things that they have in Tucson. I wasn't able to go last year, but I went the year before, and there's just so many goodies out there. If you're looking for anything in particular, and I'd be happy to shop for you and spend your money. Uh, it's one of the things I do really, really well, is spend money and enable you to do things. Um, but it's going to be a fun time. I've got a lot of plans. I'm going to go see Kevin Potter and show him a little bit of the lampwork glass that I do. He's very curious as to the process, so I think we're going to play for a little while over at his place, and that'll be fun. So looking forward to it. But when I come back, I'm going to do a demo on that. On the clay that I showed you that I posted a couple weeks or last week, with the egg tray, and the paper napkin, and just working with that kind of clay. I haven't done it yet, so I am probably going to be doing that as soon as I get back. I ordered some paper napkins that we're going to decoupage onto that clay after it's baked. It ought to be kind of fun, so I'm looking forward to playing with that stuff. So I didn't get my clay yet. I ordered it, but it didn't come in. I was hoping to play with it before we go to Tucson, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. So anyway, I wanted to mention too, that last night a pillar of the jewelry community passed away, and she finally succumbed to her long battle with cancer. And Eva Sherman, for you and people that are in the jewelry community, may know her. Uh, she fought hard, and just say a prayer for her family. Uh, she's in God's hands now, so she'll be sorely missed in the jewelry community. So I just wanted to put that out there for anybody who knew her but didn't hear of the news yet. So um, just keep the family in your thoughts. All right, and prayers. All right, so I took this one out here. I had the pleasure of meeting Eva 2 years ago when I was in Tucson, and we both attended the same party. And I got to talk to her for a few minutes, and she was a lovely, lovely human being. Okay, so I'm taking these off. Got that out. Now I'm going to put this in the water. And we'll rinse that. And that'll be the last one for the demo. And it looks like it's pretty nice. Okay. That one turned out great. That turned out great. So even little house plants you can play with and make a nice cyanotype with them. So, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed it. It's something different. Not everyone likes everything, so I try to present different types of things to uh, enable more people to do more stuff. It's just fun. I would not know what to do with myself if I didn't have these kinds of things to play with. And it's not like I'm going to be crazy for every one that I do, but I always enjoy trying something different. So I would encourage you to play with this. It is easy to do, doesn't take a whole lot of investment. Also, I didn't mention, if you didn't want to play with uh, the mixing solutions, you can buy paper that already has the treatment on there. They come in a kind of like an envelope type of thing. I've got a picture of them on my handout. Um, and there'll probably be, well, there will be a link in Amazon. I'm going to link all these products on Amazon, and you can take a look at them just so you know, just so you're aware of what's out there. Not necessarily that you have to buy them. There's a brand that has like 8x10 sheets, I think, a package of them that are already treated with the chemicals. And then I saw another one that has like postcard size pieces, like I don't know how many were in the package, but just randomly, let's say 15 or 20 of them. So you could get those if you wanted to make small works of art, if you didn't want to do this stuff that are already pre-treated. So just do a search on cyanotype and you'll find all kinds of neat information. So, all right. Thank you, Wendy. I hope that we have great weather in Tucson. The last few times we went, it was rather chilly for February. I was really kind of shocked. But it's way way better than here. So I'm not going to complain about that. Um, Although I will always find something to complain about. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So thank you so much for that. And if you do any of this stuff, let me know. Post it on the group page. Show me what you did. I always enjoy that. And with that said, I will see you hopefully live from Tucson. And if not, then I'll see you in a few weeks and we'll do another demo. So thanks for watching. I always enjoy you guys being with me to do these things, and see you next time. Bye-bye.